Okay, this is the last section. We're almost wrapping up here. The photographic legacy of Delos Wilbur. This young man, well, I'll let Mike explain how you came across the photos.
I collect military historical artifacts from World War II and World War I. A friend of mine who does the same thing, I ran into him at a show a few months now back, and he told me that after viewing Burbankia that he said, you know, I've got some photos you might be interested in. He bought a World War I man's photographic collection along with his papers and uniforms. And anyway, and it turned out that the man was a mail carrier here in Burbank. He is also one of the first graduates of the full Burbank High after he started in 1908 when Burbank High was first put together, and he graduated in 1911, the first full class running through Burbank High. We even have his diploma in there. And,
you can see it on Burbankia. Go to the website. Take a new site.
But Delos Wilbur termed himself as an amateur photographer. And I have to tell you, the man was a pro. He took some of the best shots. You can see him on the walls here, and we're going to show you.
An amateur.
This is him in the photo, and I asked myself how could he get himself, because he was riding in his mail car and taking photos of himself all over the place, all over the valley. At this time, the mail run from Burbank went all the way into Sunland to Hunga, and he's got many pictures going up to La Tuna Canyon, into which he called just Tuna Canyon. So, anyways, you see, he's always got his hand down there, and I found out from a person who collects old cameras that he had a bulb, one of those things like on a blood pressure tester, and it attached to the camera at a great distance, and you could get any length of hose.
You never told me that.
I know, because I just found this out recently.
Why didn't you tell me that? I was wondering how you did that.
I'm getting old.
He never talks to me.
Every day. Anyway, so if you notice in all his photos where he has himself in it, he has one hand of position, and we figured from that he's using the bulb to open the shutter on the camera after he's set it up.
That is cool.
So he was a pro. Here's his Burbank High graduate.
100 years ago, folks. Burbank High graduate from 100 years ago.
And here's one of his passes from his training. He was in the 185th Aero Squadron, and he shot. This man kept records. All of the pictures which he shot, he gave the exact day and time that he took every picture and what was included in that picture.
And what the aperture settings were.
Yeah, he recorded everything. He was very meticulous. More of a pro, not an amateur. Here's another serious shot he took. This is at the top of Olive Avenue, and you notice that the country club isn't there anywhere.
And this is not a photographic blur or something or a flaw. That's something he was wearing because it appears in another shot as well. I don't know what it was.
And there he is sitting
Dinner
there.
time on the route.
Captured by himself. That's not our
U.S. mail. He's got his U.S. mail thing in front of us.
We figured this is down on this end of Burbank. So you can see it was a beautiful, lots of trees growing out there. You notice the shade he's getting from that. Here's a close-up of the window of the U.S. Post Office that you saw in the earlier.
They're like the plants, the potted flowers.
Chaz R. Thompson, postmaster. You can also see people in there and some postal regulation posted in the little boxes back there in the corner where they do your mail.
Oh, we love
Burbank Public Works at its finest.
We salute you.
This man, the first street sweeper in Burbank.
Where we were celebrating last night, someone.
Now, you probably stood where this guy is sweeping.
Now, the interesting thing is, 1917, when most of these pictures were taken, this is the transition period between horse and buggy and motor cars. So, Delos's parents are always shown riding a horse and buggy. He's always shown running a car. So we've got that interesting transitional period in Burbank.
And I want to make the point that this is the first time these pictures have been shown publicly other than on Burbankia in the last 100 years. Now, this house on the left over here still exists on the corner of 9th and Angelino.
Yeah, you had a friend who lived there, right?
Yes, when I was growing up, one of our classmates, Gary Scott, his family lived there, Dr. Scott.
Millionaire Row.
But that block has not changed. You can go up there and those houses all sit.
Well, yeah, we've got a before and after shot on Burbankia. There's a lot of trees in there.
Anyway, here's Delos's father, his probably his daughter, we think, and an unknown stranger who appears in a lot of their shots.
Holding what looks like an orange, or I don't know, a cantaloupe.
But that's that is 6th Street in Burbank, over by Stout Park.
Isn't that a great photo?
Here's this is called a panorama of our town. That's Burbank Union High School, right there. It features prominently in a lot of his shots. He was very proud of graduating from Burbank High. Over here is the first elementary school in Burbank right here.
And what was it called?
Luther Burbank.
We are doing ourselves no favors when we call a school Luther Burbank if you want to insist that Burbank was named after somebody named David Burbank. Why is there a Luther Burbank school in Burbank?
The senior living complex over there, which was a church-run place, which is still a senior living place today on the corner of Cypress and Buena. Here's the shot that we looked at earlier with the Farmers and Merchants Bank. You see the little post office where Delos worked, and his car was the second from there.
It's Wednesday, the 28th of February, 1917 at 8:15 a.m.
As I said, he was very meticulous
record keeper.
If you know what time it was taken, you know what side of the street it is.
By looking at the shadows. Oh, you're good.
I like it. We'll talk later.
You didn't do photo analysis in like Vietnam or anything, did you?
We still have not been able to identify where this
Right.
is.
As you can see, this is that bank at the Greek Revival. The first picture was up this way, and there's a Burbank furniture store, and this is down that way.
I think it may have,
Burbank Historical, Les Rosenberg, you know, he had shots happening over his head also. We have really old pictures of Burbank, and I'm wondering if Les Rosenberg could help you on that.
we'll check it out.
James Strickland was talking about it, but he's a good friend of ours, but he's got really old.
Les Rosenberg?
Yeah, Les Rosenberg.
We'll have to get his name.
From San Fernando, which his dad also owned.
This lady's giving for, if you can't hear her in the back rows, we're getting a
This is in
clue.
his
That's
80s,
cool.
so you know his pet is
Okay,
way
all
back.
right. We got you.
Anyway, here, Moreland Truck Factory comes to town. And several noticeable. You've got the same street sweeper guy right here pushing his barrel.
He's still at it.
He's about to get run over in a couple of cars, and you have a wagon coming around the corner, which he's probably going to have to pick up after.
And there's church, right?
Yeah, and that's the church there.
Methodist Episcopal
Church.
and
You can
the
see it in the picture to my left over here. And that's Radio Shack where it says stationary. And here's the Lutke brothers. Apparently he was very close to the Lutke family. You seldom see a lot of Lutke brother pictures. Anyway, there's the whole family of the one brother.
yeah, you can see him in swimsuits on Burbank.
You can tell this guy's the crusty brother and this guy's the business guy.
He's the one we keep in the truck, the interface with the public at times.
Lucci's are still in Burbank too.
And how do you pronounce that name?
Well, I was here for everything, but I mean, I was in Scottsdale.
The Lucci's?
They live down off of near Riverside Drive.
And they're still family members here?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
Aren't you glad they don't have a history like the Fox family? Okay. There they are in the
Here they are at the beach. That's Delos Wilbur on the left and the Lutke family across.
Aren't those great swimsuits?
Yeah. Here's another shot from the hillside, you know, right in midway over there, Burbank Union High School. I love the chicken ranch down here. The expensive homes that are over there right now, but they don't house the chicken ranch. You notice the airport is not there. It's a beautiful scene. I wish I were in color. It would be great. Any questions?
And that concludes, now wait, let me get this right, the Burbank, okay, go ahead.